Hello, this is Dom from Black Toad Studios and welcome to the 83rd Warhost Reinforcements. In this series we go through my word bearer force, slowly building the army up into a truly apocalyptic warhost. Every episode what I'll do is I'll go off, I will paint some models, I'll come back, talk about those models, and then we'll go through the next step of picking the next models for the 81st Warhost. Now, if you're new to the channel, you will know that, or you won't know, that word bearers are a great passion of mine. And very recently on the channel, we've done two massive games involving the 83rd Warhost. Very recently, myself and Tom had a game with 15,000 points aside, word bearers and Chaos Knights against the filthy Black Templars and their allies, the Imperial Knights. Now, if you haven't seen one of our games on the channel, one of the truly apocalyptic games, I highly recommend it. It's not just filled with the big stuff. We've got a Titan each, we've got some Knights, but there are so many troops and tanks on the battlefield. It is a truly epic game to behold. So definitely recommend them. So on the last video, I took away 3 Forge World models. I have since kit bashed those models. I have converted those models. I've painted those models up. In fact, 2 of those models did appear in our most recent Apocalypse game. So I really recommend, if you didn't see them first time round, to go back and rewatch it. They are definitely in that game. So as I keep going about the Apocalypse game, it was absolutely amazing. Myself and Tom are really pumped for Apocalypse games. What we're going to be doing for the future of the channel is we're going to come and focus so much on those games throughout the year. I'm going to be building up the Warhost so we can up the games at the point level at the end of the year. There's going to be some lead up games. There's going to be some character development for the 83rd Warhost. So if you guys want to see that, please put a comment below. That'd be absolutely amazing. So guys, without further ado, let's go and have a look at those 3 models. Here we are, all 3 of the models that I've been working on the last month or so, and I'm very proud how they turned out. Nice Forge World models here, or all containing elements of Forge World. Perhaps you can, without knowing any more about them, identify what kits they're from. But yeah, I'm happy how most of these have turned out. What I'm going to do on Instagram, I'm going to put up some backstory and names for these characters and how they fit into the 83rd. But let's have a look at each of these characters individually. So first out the gate, we have got the Master of Executions. Now, I've enjoyed doing this model. It's been a great little mission to get working on. He's taken me quite some time. I can't even remember when I started this guy. However, he is lovely. Using the base of the Praetor model for the word bearers, his main body there. Used other parts of kit here. So we've got a Chaos Space Marine arm there. Actually, no, sorry, the arm is from the Praetor. The bolt pistol and the hand are from a Chaos Space Marine kit. We've got Chaos Space Marine Polder in there. We've got a cloak. We've got a Khorne Age of Sigmar head there. Now, he doesn't always have to be Mark of Khorne. He's quite a lot of the time undivided. We have got the Warp Smith hand and axe there as his main weapon. Originally, I'd converted an AOS axe, but it kept going wrong. Axe kept snapping, so I got myself a Warp Smith off eBay. Used a hand and an axe. It looks really nice. Got a Polder in there from one of the Chaos Space Marine kits. Backpack there from the Dark Vengeance Chosen. So a bit of everything's gone into this guy. I really like how he's turned out. I've used him a couple of times now in games. Very recently, I've used him in the Apocalypse game that you may have seen on the channel. If you haven't seen it already, you really need to go check it out. And I don't know why I've not had one of these guys before, because he's absolutely amazing. For the points, he just cuts swathes of people down. He can kill a character off quite quickly, especially with the right bit of war gear on him. He definitely does what he should be doing. So really like this model. I really want to convert a couple more, maybe for different gods, and kind of just see where they go. But definitely on a competitive level, I will take these guys because they're beautiful for the points. A nice little addition to the army. Definitely for Apocalypse games, we'll be getting more of them. But this is my Master of Execution. Let me know which one of these 3 that you're going to like the most. This is Master of Execution. Very nice. One Forge model down. Let's do another Forge World model. Forge World model number 2, my Master of Possession. So this guy was based on Zargal Lyak, the word bearer character. I have once again converted him quite a bit. So we've got a Night Lord head in here, because I just love the skulls they come with on the bottom part there. And we've gone with a possessed arm here as well from the old possessed kit. I had one lying around, so he's kind of, you know, doing his stuff probably for his own benefit there. Once again, he's got a backpack from one of the Chosen models there. I really like this model. He's very nice. I enjoy having 2 Masters of Possession now because they're just such awesome abilities that you can pump out of these guys. So I've done some of the my lovely blue flames on here because I think it just adds a bit more witchery and a bit more of the warp by having a blue flame rather than like a orangey flame. Yeah, it's quite nicely weathered here. All these bits here I've added in. I've enjoyed this project, John. I'm working on 3 Forge World models. Definitely the first 2 I've kind of converted up to try and take away their 30k silhouette to make them a little bit different, and I definitely think I've achieved it with this guy here. So yeah, he's a very nice model. Really glad I can have him. Possibly could use him as a Dark Apostle or Sorcerer if I really wanted to. However, I think as Master Possession, he probably brings more to the 83rd than he did before. I'm probably going to come up with names for these guys, and I'll post them on the Instagram, just so you guys can have a look to see a bit of their backstory. And hopefully in future games on the channel, he's going to be kind of proving his worth in the 83rd and possibly ascending at some point. But yeah, he's a very cool model. Let me know if you go like this guy the most out of the 3. And finally, one more guy. Right, so the 3rd, last but not least, or maybe is least, I really hated this model, guys. It's taken me a while to get through him and to do some stuff. He is the Nurgle Sorcerer from Forge World that they stopped doing. I can probably see why, because he's a nightmare to paint. But he's got some cool little bits here that I'm quite proud of. A little nurgling on the base there, if you can see him there, just kind of chilling out and doing his nurgliness down there. There we go. And I've kind of enjoyed doing the flesh on this guy. Really normally quite reluctant, but he's got all these nice sores. His face not so much. But the arm back here, I'm quite proud of this has turned out. It's kind of got this like seeping bits coming out of his arm. It's quite gooey, lots of weathering's gone on this model. He's taken me so much time to do. I don't think I'm overly proud of how he's turned out. However, he has finished. I'm not sure what else I could really do with this model, to be honest. But he is cool. It's nice to have these models that are now out of production and have an official model of it. Because as you can see with these parchments down here, what I've done is the copper at the top. Where's my finger? There it is. It's kind of weathered, and then the rust effects kind of seeped down onto the parchments there. So over time, it's just kind of stained their parchments, obviously being Nurgle as well. You can see a bit of scripture faintly in there. But yeah, this guy's going to have a use. Maybe backing up the Plague Marines, maybe performing psychic actions on the battlefield. But let me know if you guys like this model. If you've ever painted it yourself, let me know what your thoughts were when painting it. Definitely one of the hardest models I've painted. I think in reflection, I'd rather paint an orc truck with detail or a drop pod inside and out than paint this guy again. But yeah, like I say, I think I've done the best I possibly could on this guy. Not my most joyful experience, but once again, you know, you can't pick them all. So Tom, thank you for this free model. Really appreciate it. I'm thinking you kind of knew what was going to happen when I decided to paint it. But there we go. So that's my 3 models. So there you go. Those were those models. Like I said, that Nurgle Sorcerer was a pain to paint, and I would kind of challenge anyone, if you get that model, to give it a go. I found it quite hard. Hopefully you guys probably won't find it as hard. Fingers crossed. So at the end of not the most recent massive game, but the one before, when there were lots of players, I ordered myself some Chaos Predators. Unfortunately, they were out of stock. And so up until after our most recent Apocalypse game, I hadn't had them, and suddenly they were delivered. So I have had a little haul over Christmas. I got some Possessed, I got some Terminators, but it doesn't seem right that these Predators that were destined for the Apocalypse game haven't been painted. So what I'm going to do with the next episode, I'm going to paint one up, or maybe paint two up, or maybe paint three up, and make them join the 83rd Warhost, because what we've lacked generally with the Chaos Space Marines and with the 83rd is ranged weapons. And in the most recent Apocalypse game, we relied heavily on Chaos Knights. And it's not good for the pride of the 83rd to be relying on Chaos Knights. They want to be doing it themselves. So we're going to get those Predators painted up and looking very word-bearery. So they will be appearing next on the channel. I will be putting up some Whip Pro photos on Instagram, so you can get to see what they're starting to look like. But guys, until then, I really appreciate all your feedback, all your likes, all your subscribes, all the love. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, follow us on Instagram to see those Whip photos. And this is Dom from Black Toad Studios. Thank you very much for watching. Take care.